Okay, hello everyone, I'm Marietta, and I will continue discussing the other sources of evidence. So Mr. Justin already discussed judicial notice and public records. Now let's proceed to the public writings. So public writings is frequently used evidence which include all written materials other than public records, which is made available to the general public. So this source of evidence is open to everyone and could be accessed by everyone anytime and anywhere. So let me give you an example. We have here the Encyclopedia Britannica. So Encyclopedia Britannica is now published exclusively as an online source, which can be viewed and accessed by everyone around the world. Another example of this are the Weekly World News, a college textbook or any textbooks in schools, the humor magazines, the World Almanac, the Great Gatsby, which is a novel, and a Brookings Institution report. So this Brookings Institution report is actually a non-profit public policy organization. So this Brookings Institution report publishes regular reports, books, and Brookings papers, and also conduct research that leads them to new ideas for solving problems in the society. So it is a reliable source of evidence. So let's proceed now to the private writings. So private writings include all written material prepared for private rather than public use. We have to take note that most private writings are prepared only for a limited circulation among individuals. So example of these private writings are our personal information, personal letter, our diary, the student class record, as well as the company's financial statement. However, some private writings are designed to become public records when they are probated or when they have undergone the process of adjudication in the court. So wills, for example, they become a public record when they are probated or if a will exists and it is valid. Another one is contract. Contract also become a public record if they are brought into court for adjudication. So what they are doing in adjudication is a final decision or a process of settling or resolving a case in the court of law. Probably, any writings may become a public record if it is included in the records of a court of governmental agency. Okay, another is that private writings is designed to report events with great precision and to reflect considered judgment. For instance, a document that you are going to use to report the crime that happened in your barangay. So this should not be shown to the public first because there are times that this may be incomplete and studied with offhand comments. Take note that private writings constitute an important source of evidence. Thus, care should be taken to determine who prepared the document and under what circumstances it is. We have also put in mind that personal letters are not customarily introduced as evidence in the courtroom debates or in academic debates. We all know that computers have created a gray area of public and private writings, email, comments, as well as postcards. That is, they are in public in the sense that it can be accessed by everyone and it is private if it is intended to only one person or a small group of people. Therefore, if private writings become available in the public, it means that the evidence is admissible and is valid. However, if they remain as a private writings, it is treated as a lead that may guide one to admissible evidence. So that's all for private writings, and let's proceed to the testimony of witness. Testimony of witness is one of the most common source of evidence. So the testimony in the court or before a governmental body is usually given under oath and is subject to penalties for perjury or contempt. We have to put in mind that the testimony of witness is recorded in the form of question and answer. So it is stated here that it is given under oath and is subject to penalties for perjury or contempt. So perjury is committed when a witness intentionally lies under oath, falsifying an affirmation to tell the truth, whether in spoken or in writing. So the result would be they could be convicted of that crime. So, however, testimony outside the courtroom or hearing room is not subject to the same legal restrictions because it is also informal because it is outside of the courtroom. So, for example, I, as a member of management officials, will give testimony on the operation of the company during the meeting. Another is a college freshman may ask sophomore for advice on what course he or she will take in the college. So, in fact, much of our day-to-day business and social activity is based on testimony of witness. Why? Because in every action we do, someone is witnessing us. Take note that the value of testimony of witness may vary considerably. To sum it up, the testimony of witness inside the court is readily admissible or the evidence is relevant. While the testimony of witness outside the court, like for example, the testimony of your professor, is not admissible in the academic debate, but it will constitute a valuable lead that enable you to find an admissible evidence. So that's for the testimony of witness. And the last but not the least source of evidence is personal inspection. So if personal inspection is used as an evidence, then something is presented for examination to the person rendering the decision. So for example, if we are asked to examine and observe the teaching strategies and teaching techniques of our teachers. Another example is when a stockbroker may also show financial statement to the client. So it's like performing physical observation to identify or determine the root cause of the problem or in order to get an evidence that will be presented to the judge or any public officials who have the authority to hear cases in the court of law and pronounce judgment. It is also stated here that personal inspection is frequently used in courtroom debates. So like for example, the attorney shows juries and judges the murder weapon, arrange for them to visit the scene of the crime, or show them the plaintiff's injuries. So we can see here that the evidence is presented in personal inspection and has been selected and arranged by someone to support a particular argument. Therefore, an evidence must be examined with care, So that's all for the source of evidence, and thank you for listening.